Hello, welcome back. I'm Statman Dave, and today I'm going to take a look at 5 players Arsenal should sign in January. Remember to subscribe if you are new, smash that like button, but before we get this party started, a message from the sponsor of this video. In a world where we spend a lot of time on the internet watching football content, it's more important than ever to be secure online and protect your data. That's where NordVPN comes in. A lot like a tough tackling midfielder, NordVPN screens your online presence by changing your IP address, stopping tricky hackers from stealing your data. And with more than 5,000 ultra-fast servers around the world, it doesn't matter where you are, NordVPN has your back, allowing you to stay protected on the go, changing your location and accessing geo-locked content. For example, you want to watch Match of the Day in America on iPlayer? Crack open NordVPN, switch your region to the UK, and you can watch Gary and the lads talk up Ralph Rangnick's revolution at Old Trafford. And not only is NordVPN a major award winner, but it allows you to have 6 connections at once on just one account. And with its stealth capabilities, you can even use NordVPN in countries where VPNs are banned. So check the link in the description below and help support the channel. And for a special holiday season deal, go to nordvpn.com/StatmanDave or head over to their website and use the promo code StatmanDave to get a whopping 73% off a 2-year plan plus 1 additional month for free. But anyway, let's get this party started. After a slow start to the season, Mikel Arteta has started to turn things around at Arsenal, with the Gunners in place where they can really re-establish themselves as a top 4 club, if they get the next couple of transfers right. In Arteta's transfer windows, the Spaniard has heavily invested in the defensive areas, with 6 of his 7 deepest players all being signed under his reign. Despite integrating Emil Smith-Rowe, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli into his first team and adding Martin Odegaard on a permanent basis, Arsenal still need reinforcements up front, especially given the situation with Lacazette's contract and Aubameyang's discipline. So today the players I'm going to suggest Arsenal should be looking at all bring quality and depth to those forward positions. First up, Jonathan David. The Lille hitman is leading the way in France this season in terms of goal getting and would be a great fit for Arteta's youthful side. Pacey, 2-footed and a great finisher. Jojo is everything that Arsenal are missing. The Canadian international has effectively played as a second striker in Lille's 4-4-2, dropping off and operating from deep. He's not a playmaker by any stretch, but he's a very good linkman, especially in the transition. Often he receives in space with his back to goal before quickly moving it to a wide player and eventually finishing off moves. His best attribute is his off-the-ball movement. David likes to occupy multiple opponents with his positioning before making quick darts to escape and finish. This makes him extremely dangerous in the final third, and not only does he take up good goal-scoring positions, but often he stops one of the markers from closing down a teammate, creating that extra second for him to be slipped in behind. He's also very intelligent in the penalty area and combines positioning with last-second movements to create passing lanes. We saw this in his goal against PSG. Iconium possession, he plays a 1-2 with Bamba, who works it wide to Yilmaz, who drives at Care before picking out David to finish. On the surface, this looks like a very simple goal, but when you re-watch it, you can see how good Jojo's movement is. He starts in a little pocket of space between 3 PSG players, neither on the last line or dropping off, but as the ball is worked wide to Yilmaz, he moves onto the shoulder of the defender. If Yilmaz crosses first time, David would have been in a good position to react. Instead, Yilmaz carries and David keeps in line with him, ready for a low cross across the face of the goal. But when the Turkey international hits the byline, David drops off and opens a lane for the cutback, as the low cross on the last line that David had been waiting for would be cut off by either Marquinhos or the goalkeeper. What's impressive is that when David finishes, no PSG player is touch tight to the top scorer in the league. Having thrived in a free role in a front 2, Arsenal could get the best out of Jonathan David by playing him at number 10, but his versatility would likely see him adapt to a lone forward role, providing Arsenal's other forwards made runs beyond him. Still, at just 21 years old, David is not yet the finished article, but he's got a lot of very good skills, and if Arteta can continue to mould and develop the rest of his youthful front line, when they peak at a few seasons, we could see Arsenal poised to challenge for the title. Sticking with goal scoring scoring attacking midfielders, it's time to talk about Christopher Nkunku. At the halfway point in the season, the RB Leipzig man is already enjoying his best goal return of his career. Starting as a number 10, right winger or left winger, Nkunku is very much operating as a striker, often taking up more advanced positions than the actual centre forward. The Frenchman has very much evolved from being a playmaker into a goal scorer, but still retains his creative talents. In the final third, he excels at support play, keeping pace with an attack and linking with his teammates to create chances. But he's added goal-scoring movement to his skill set. He's deceptively quick, with a great burst of acceleration. This allows him to beat a man and create a yard to playmake in the past. But now he's using this to get on the end of passes himself. He loves a run in between the fullback and the centre-back to receive a through ball. In Leipzig's 2-1 win over Dortmund, he absolutely ran the show. Both goals showed the duality of his play. The opening goals showcased his goal scoring. Tyler Adams in possession, he carries and passes it to Gvardiol, who spits the defence with a through ball as Nkunku rounds the keeper to score. This highlights those in-to-out runs that he loves to make, but also more of his attacking positioning. At the start of the move, you'd think Poulsen was at number 10 and Nkunku on the last line, but it's the opposite. Then the confidence and technique to round the keeper is excellent. Meanwhile, the winner showcased the old creative side, but also operating on that last line, a little bit like Thomas Muller. Poulsen in possession, he switches it out to Szoboszlai, who plays a 1-2 at Forsberg, before the Hungarian slips it to Nkunku out wide, as the Frenchman picks up the ball and plays it to the back post for Yussuf Poulsen to finish. The forward dominated, finished the game with the most shots, most chances created and most dribbles amongst Leipzig players, with 2 dribbles coming in the 62nd minute when he pulled off a double roulette in the box before hitting the post. Really starting to find his stride after a sluggish start to his career, Christopher Nkunku could provide much needed attacking thrust into Arsenal's front line, and from what I've seen this season would have no problems developing into their starting number 9. Third, we've got to talk about Luis Diaz. Something has clicked with the 24-year-old this season, and he's stringing some consistent performances together and reaping the rewards. Averaging a goal involvement per game this season, Arsenal should act now before he gets snapped up in the summer. A right-footed left winger, Luis Diaz is an inverted winger. He likes to hold the width, receive out wide before cutting inside with the ball at his feet, as opposed to an inside forward who takes up more narrow starting positions. Diaz makes me think of a right-footed Rafinha. He's a very explosive player with flair to beat multiple players on the dribble, but also got a very powerful shot. Diaz is also technically proficient with his passing and has that South American aggression in his game. When he's got the ball, his preferred move is to cut inside, feinting and jinking to unbalance the defender before gliding past them and cracking a shot off. He's got a fantastic technique and generates an insane amount of power, usually cutting inside and smashing it into the far post. But he's also got a daisy cutter shot that absolutely flies off his boot. Diaz tried this against AC Milan in the Champions League, picking up the ball near halfway, carrying and then striking the post from 25 yards out. He struck this shot so well that despite going across the keeper, the ball actually hit the post before the keeper hit the floor. But as much as he wants to come inside and get shots off, he also loves hitting the byline. He usually opens himself up, looking inside as he invites a challenge before dragging it past the defender and hitting that byline. What's more is he's surprisingly dangerous from headers, scoring 3 goals from 7 headed shots this season. Luis Diaz is still quite raw and needs to improve his decision making, sometimes overrunning his dribbles and misplacing passes. But if a coach can iron that out, they'll have an unbelievable player on their hands. Arteta has already done this as assistant to Pep Guardiola, getting the best out of the likes of Leroy Sané and Raheem Sterling, so could do something similar with Diaz. He'd also fit into their best 11 quite well. Bukayo Saka is the future of Arsenal, and his best position is on the right, whilst Diaz rose to prominence on the left. The dual inverted wingers would fit Arteta's tiki-taka style, and Diaz's final third flair could be the X factor that Arsenal are missing. We saw this in full effect against Sporting, receiving a switch from an inverted right winger and dominating a fullback 1v1 as he cut inside and smashed the ball past the keeper to equalise. We could see something similar at Arsenal, with Saka playing the creative switch from the right-hand side, allowing Diaz to do the damage on the left. With the reported 80 million release clause, but apparently available for 50, Diaz wouldn't be cheap, but he could be everything that Arsenal are looking for. Fourth on the list is a little bit different as we look at a central midfielder, Seiko Forsen. Playing in a midfield 3 or double pivot for Lens this season, Forsen is the side's top scorer in Ligue 1. The Ivorian is a very fun player to watch. His blend of technical ability and a big physical frame can make him look clumsy, but he makes things happen. His playing style reminds me a bit of Yaya Toure when he scored 20 goals in the Premier League, and like the iconic midfielder, you can't get near Fofana on his day. In his own half, he's very safe and simple in possession, almost exclusively passing the ball short and recycling possession to one of the centre-backs for them to step out and then play progressive. But in Lens's attacking shape, Fofana becomes a number 10. With a midfield partner and 3 centre-backs behind him, Fofana is given the free rein to play. His ball carrying is a standout attribute. He loves to receive inside left, where he can get lots of space to carry into. Fofana's physicality and speed make him an imposing player to stop, but he's also got quick feet and tricks to evade defenders. When he does cut inside, he likes to play with his head up and look for 1-2s or even switches out to the right hand side. But his favourite follow-up to a dribble is a powerful shot from range. His goal against PSG was an incredible strike. Lens recovered possession in the PSG half. Fofana receives, plays a 1-2 around PSG's midfield with his own midfield partner before unleashing a wicked shot that catches out the goalkeeper. This looks like a shot that should have been saved, but Fofana strikes it so well and it dips last minute, which forces it into the net. If Arsenal were to sign him, they'd have to play him at number 10. His safe and simple passing in defensive areas would be a waste of his talents. Whilst from attacking midfield, he could terrify the opposition. His ball carrying in the final third is dangerous, but it's lethal in the transition. And from a higher starting position, Arsenal could often exploit this, finding Fofana and then using his powerful running to lead the counter-attack. But defensively would make sense too. He's very quick, and with his height and long legs means he can intercept a lot of passes. This makes him an ideal candidate for leading Arsenal's press, and in Arteta's well-drilled system, Fofana could thrive. Reportedly available for 25 million, Seiko Forsen would add much needed power and unpredictability into Arsenal's front line. And last, but by no means least, Dusan Vlahovic. The striker is at the top of a lot of shortlists around Europe. After 18 months of consistent goal scoring in Serie A, and Arsenal need to go all in to sign the Serb. He's a modern day target man, with the physical attributes of more of a traditional role but the technical ability required of a modern day number 9. Vlahovic is actually surprisingly technical and likes to receive with the ball to feet. He's not afraid to engage in battles with centre-backs, with the strength to hold off a defender before making use of the ball. He did this superbly in Fiorentina's 4-3 win over AC Milan. Engaging with Simon Kjær, Vlahovic dominated and successfully received nearly 70% of his progressive passes, a big increase from his seasonal average in Serie A. He's good at holding the ball up and linking with the supporting midfielders, but he does love to go direct to the wide player before getting into the box to finish off crosses. The big Serbian almost exclusively scores from inside the area, with only one of his Serie A goals coming from outside the box from open play. Despite being good with his head, he scores most of his goals from low crosses, often finishing first time, or alternatively, taking a touch and opening up the finish into the far post before pulling it to the near post. His goal against Empoli was a crash course in how to use Vlahovic. Martinez in possession, he goes wide to Sampanara, who finds Vlahovic. The striker escapes his marker and switches out to Callion. The winger takes one touch and fires a low cross to the back post for Vlahovic to finish. This kind of vertical play into his feet is what he lives off, and by getting the ball wide, he's able to attack the space and make use of his physicality and finishing ability. Vlahovic is a proper goal scorer. On top of being a great finisher, he always gambles on spills from the opposition goalkeeper, as he creates his own goal scoring luck. He's also deadly from the penalty spot and has scored all of his 17 penalties in his professional career. This could be a surprising benefit to Arsenal, who have missed all of their 3 penalties in the Premier League this season. With a young and talented striker that not only scores for fun but suits Arteta's profile for a focal point striker, Arsenal should do everything in their power to sign Dusan Vlahovic. But anyway guys, what do you think? Who would you sign for Arsenal? Let me know in the comments below. I've been Statman Dave, of course. Check out NordVPN and use the code, of course, Statman Dave. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, why not check out some more content on the Statman Dave YouTube channel.